Coaches, do you know exactly what your coaches are going to do, your assistant coaches are going to do on game day? Where are they going to stand? Where are their eyes going to be? What are they going to watch? Exactly what they're going to do every single play of the game and at halftime. Do you know that? Well, if you do, you're probably the exception rather than the rule. What we're going to do today is we're going to make sure that everybody knows exactly how we coached our assistant coaches on game day to do exactly what was going to help us to win, where their eyes were going to be, and exactly how they were going to communicate information to me, the play caller. So if you want to make sure that you join in the top 5% of your profession, then join us today to learn about how to properly place assistant coaches on game day. Welcome, everybody. This is Tony Franklin. I've been involved in football as a football coach for the last 40 years, but really I've been involved in football for 55 years as a player and a coach. And some of the things that I'm incredibly proud of is that over that period of time, I've had 9 quarterbacks that I've coached in high school, arena football, and in college football that were players of the year, including the first pick in the NFL draft, Jared Goff. But what's happened over the last 20 years is I developed a system called the Tony Franklin system, which throughout high school football and college football and eventually into the NFL helped to change the way that football was played. High school coaches dramatically changed the way that football is played today by the way that we were able to teach them and the success that our clients had all throughout the country. But what's happened in the last year has been mind-boggling. We started something called TF 365, and now we have a plug-and-play system that 365 days out of the year, we get together and I send you somewhere between a 10-minute and a 1-hour video that specifically teaches you different elements of football to make you a top 5% earning coach in all of football, high school, college, wherever, whatever level it is that you're at. So a plug-and-play system, 365 days out of the year. The one thing you want to make sure you do, guys, go to coachtf.com and book a phone call, and let's talk about getting you into the top 5% of this profession.
Coaches, I think one of the most important things that you have to do to be a great game day play caller is that you have to do a tremendous job on assigning all of the assistant coaches exactly what their duties are on game day. You may go into a season and take it for granted and think that each position coach just generally would know what to do, but you would be shocked at the number of coaches that on game day just become fans and just watch the game. And that even includes head coaches. I've worked for head coaches that all they do is sound like a heckling fan up in the stands. And so it's very important that you delegate everybody's responsibilities. And I would include the head football coach and tell him specifically what he can do to help you on game day. So we're going to go over some of those duties right now and make sure that everybody's on the same page. The first thing is the signals. One of the things that we've done that I believe is really unique over the years is that we signaled to all of our players. So every position coach and sometimes even a different group of players would signal what exactly the duties and responsibilities are of each player that's on the field. So for example, the outside receiver coach would signal to the outside receiver, the inside receiver coach to the inside receiver, or some of the backup players that are not playing would be the ones that would signal to those guys. There's a couple of ways you can do it. One is that you signal everybody specifically what their duty is on that play. I call Y cross. The X knows that he's got to take off. He gets a takeoff signal. But the X doesn't have to know that the play is Y cross. So now you can take a player that may struggle to learn the concepts of the offense, and as long as he can learn to read one signal to where you specifically tell him what to do, it makes everything easier. The other thing that most people do is you just signal the quarterback, and then the quarterback tells the O-line what their job is, signals to every position group. To me, when you do that, you add a lot of pressure on the quarterback that you don't need to add to the quarterback. So in the perfect world, to me, we signal to every person on the field. The offensive line gets a signal, inside receivers or tight end get a signal, running backs get a signal, quarterbacks get a signal. And the only people that actually really know the entire play and formation, et cetera, are the quarterbacks. Everybody else just learns what they do. So those are some of the things that you need to be able to do. We don't huddle except when we muddle huddle, and we only mix that up occasionally, and the muddle huddle is about a yard away from the line of scrimmage. The guys that are in the press box, whether it's one of your receiver coaches, whether or not it's you, the offensive coordinator that's calling plays, whoever is in the press box needs to be able to see the things that people on the field can't see. So, for example, if you have two wideout coaches, one of them watches the far side away from his sideline, the one in the press box does, and the one on the sideline watches the receivers on his side. They need to be able to relay information in the press box about how to get a good matchup. How can I get this receiver on a bad corner or a bad safety? They need to relay good and bad performance. So-and-so did this well, so-and-so did not do this well. They also need to tell us, where are the kill shots? Who's a weak defender? If we run a grab route right now, can I get the outside receiver over the top? Can I get a double move? Is there somebody that's susceptible to a double move? How do we isolate our best player? Is there somebody that we can run by? So those are what the guys with the eyes in the press box should be able to tell you. The other thing the eyes in the press box need to be able to do, somebody needs to talk to the play caller and say, it's 3rd and 1. You're in 4-down territory. It's 3rd and 7. 3rd and 7, you're on the -25. It's 3rd and 6, you're on the +40. The head coach then needs to step in and say, you got 4 plays. It's a whole different play call if you know you got 4 plays rather than 3 plays. Whoever's in the press box just needs to basically give you brief information over the head side. Left hash, 3rd and 1. Ball's on the +47 yard line, then shut up and let you think and call a play. The people in the press box also need to relay penalty information. There's a flag. It was a hold. We were offsides. There was a face mask. Whatever it is, give you so that you can be ready to respond to that information. If you can get the coverage on pre-snap early enough and relay it to the play caller, that's awesome. If you're getting the coverage late, right in the middle of a play call, don't tell him, because all it'll do is screw him up. And then you also need to be able, if you're in the press box, to be able to run the game clock and tell us how much time is left. Can we call a timeout right now? Do we need to call a timeout right now? And always be able to relay that information to them whenever that is going on. If you're the offensive line person in the play box, somebody that's going to help the O-line, chart the front so at halftime you can give him all the fronts and in between series. Chart and draw up all the blitzes. Get immediate feedback for mistakes. We missed the edge blitzer. The center called it wrong. If there's a mismatch, identify the mismatch. Hey, you're going to have to help our right tackle. He can't block that defensive end. You're going to have to leave the back end. Remind us of positive play selections. Remind us on what plays that we haven't called enough of. Remind us to go faster. Call it faster. Go tempo. Go NASCAR. Go Rondo. Whatever the tempo words that you use. Make sure that we move the pocket. Whatever it is that helps the offensive line, that's what the O-line guy in the box needs to be doing. And at halftime, the O-line guy in the box needs to be able to come in and draw everything up and say, this is the issue, this is how we fix it. In between every series, that's also what he needs to be able to do. On the field, receiver coach is normally going to be in charge of all the substitution, but he's also going to be in charge of signaling at least one, if not two of his players. His job is to keep calm and relay info, especially if he's got young guys that haven't played a lot. He's got to calm them down and fix them. He needs to let me know if somebody needs their ass chewed. If somebody needs to get chewed out, he can let me know. If I trust him to do it, I'll let him do it. Some guys are good at it. Some guys are not good at it. Be composed and fix the problems, okay? Stay focused throughout the game, and then suggest whenever you see something, you see a matchup or you see a shot that we can take, and then obviously signal. On the field running back coach, in charge of his own substitution, getting guys on and off the field, signal to his guys. Find what's working for your guy. Don't watch the play, watch the running back. See what if he's running a swing route, nobody's covering him, let me know immediately if I'm the play caller. If we need to run him on a wheel route, let the play caller know. Be a strong reminder and remind us if there's a blitz that we mix, make sure that we fix that. If there's something that we're ignoring, make sure that we fix that immediately. Let me know again. If that person's not capable of chewing somebody's butt, let me do it. You got to stay composed, and you got to fix your problems. You got to know your player's personality and be able to fix that, as well as also probably signal. The offensive line on the field coach, you got to fix stuff immediately. When something happens, the moment they come off the field, you got to be relaying that information from upstairs. He's got to tell you what it is, and you got to get your guys together, compose them, draw it up, and fix it. You need to suggest if the offensive line needs help, you need to remind me, call faster plays, go faster tempo, move the pocket, throw screens, suggest plays when appropriate, and demand a short yardage call. In other words, if it's 3rd and 1, don't ask me what to call. Don't say, I think we ought to do this. Say, run this now. Run this play. Be bold, and don't be afraid to put your job on the line. And again, same thing. Let me know if people need to get their butt chewed. Stay composed and fix the problems, and signal also if you have to signal. The head coach needs to help, not hinder. A lot of head coaches I've worked for are nothing but a pain in the ass, and you might as well take the worst fan in the stands and bring them down on the field. All they do is heckle and criticize and act like they're a fan in the stands. What they need to do is learn to shut their mouth. If they can't help, they need to do it. And I address that after the game, during the game. I address it before I'm ever hired and tell them, I need your help. Do this for me. Tell me when I've got 4 downs. Tell me, call a timeout. I had a head coach this past season that didn't call a timeout and then blame me. Assistant coach, you can't call a timeout. It's beyond your responsibility. You can't do it. The officials will ignore you. Call timeouts. Remind me to play fast. Remind me of tempo. And then encourage and assist, and don't be a critic, okay? Chew the whole team out if they need to be chewed out, and work officials. Again, I've had head coaches that were great at working officials, and I've had head coaches that were horrible. I had one head coach that never said anything to the officials, and therefore we never got a call. I had another head coach, all he did was chew them out, and we never got a call. You got to be somewhere in between. You got to know how to work officials when you do it. And then some final miscellaneous winning tips here at the very end. Number 1, make sure that you have a really good play charter. This is where, as a high school coach, find somebody that loves football or just needs to find somebody that just needs some help, somebody that needs to be a part of a team, and make that person your play charter. And he's going to walk up and down the sidelines, and he's going to chart everything. He's going to write down the formation, the motion, the play, and then every play that gains 5 yards or more, he's going to immediately highlight it with a yellow highlight marker. And then at the end of every series, he's going to hand the play caller the play call chart. And when you get the chart, I can then look at it and go, wow, we ran this play 3 times and got 5 yards each time. So do that, and make sure you've got somebody that really takes pride in doing a good job with that. It's very important that you have great ball boys. It may seem like a small deal. It's not. One time when I was doing my consulting, I chewed out the ball boy, and it just happened to be a 45-year-old minister. And I said some words to him that you don't say in church. And the head coach came over and he said, just so you know, you just cussed my minister. And I said, well, tell him to get the balls in better, and I won't do it the next time. My point is this: that is an important job. Get the balls in on time. Get them in dry. Make sure that they can throw the ball to the official or hand the ball to the official to where it doesn't slow you down at all, and that you've got a good dry ball for your quarterback on every single snap. You need to have great get-back coaches. Normally those are strength coaches. It may be somebody else. To me, if I was a head coach, I wouldn't have to have a get-back coach, because I would have the discipline that on the sideline, our players never went past a certain point, and if they did, there would be a penalty, and they would never do it again. However, I've never worked for a coach that could get that done. So you get all these strength coaches that want to show their muscles off and push people back. I've had great get back coaches, great strength coaches that have done it. And I've had horrible ones that all they want to do is run and make sure they try to get on television. They're more worried about how tight their shirt is than they are getting guys back and helping you win a football game. You should never have an issue. Make sure that you keep your guys behind to where they're never pushing the coaches out on the field, to where that the officials don't get run over. So make sure that you also have somebody, if your head coach or coordinator is crazy, you've got somebody grabbing them and pulling them back on the field. If you watch Georgia, Kirby Smart is 5 yards out on the field all the time, and somebody's grabbing him and pulling him back. And, Nick Saban, you don't have to worry about. He's over there being disciplined, and that's why he wins every time. You shouldn't have to grab coaches and pull them off the field, but some guys just like to be on TV. And then finally, make sure your AD and your head coach do a great job of keeping people off the sideline that don't need to be there. Boost your club president, the superintendent of the school system, somebody that's going to make a butt out of themselves and cause you problems and feel like they need to chew officials out. So keep the morons on the sideline to a minimum.
That's it, everybody. Those are the life-changing, career-changing, career improvement points that we have for today. If you enjoyed this, please go visit Coachtf.com. Better than that, book a call with me today. Get on the phone and give me a call. Improve your life. And then the most important thing, never forget, do something good today for somebody who could never repay you as long as you live. If you do that, you'll have lived a great life.